So those people that follow me will know that I like making hives out of reclaimed timber. I follow a lot of people on YouTube, one of them being the bushman, or the bee bushman over in Australia, and he actually had a colony of bees inside a fridge, and then he went about making a couple of long hives out of fridge freezers. I really like that idea. I love a bit of recycling, and the fact that the main body of the fridge is already built, insulated. It's going to be warm in the winter, cool in the summer. One thing that we see a lot of on Sheppey is dumped fridge freezers or fridges. So it made sense to try and make one, see what it turned out like. Got 7 acres of woodland over in Bearsted. If I paint the fridges green, they're going to blend right in. I would imagine a fridge freezer, weather-wise, is going to last for a lot longer than hives made out of pallet wood. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to make one, get out over the woodland this year. It won't have bees in it until next year, and we see how they do. There's my fridge freezer, a couple of doors away from me. So basically we want to remove this piece so that the lid is flat, take out these, see what a national frame fits in there like, adjust the width of it maybe with some pallet wood. This just pulls out. It's a bit like windscreen glass. Last bit. Yep, as I thought, the inside of that is filled up with the foam. So, let's try a handsaw. Yep. Totally cool. Okay, once all the sawing's finished, we go from that to that. A couple of little mishaps there, but it's no big deal. But that, in its own right, is a bloody good insulated lid. So even if the fridge freezer hive doesn't work, I know where to get lids now for the little short hives that I make, because that would be an ideal lid, lightweight as anything, insulated and already weatherproofed, barring the stickers. I thought it was going to be tricky getting that seal back in, but literally you just bend it and push it and it clips back in. Okay, we've done a fair bit of taking bits off the fridge, and of course that's the light. I'm going to just cut all of these wires, so I thought I'd show you how it's coming along. I've got to basically cut a groove out of both sides of this, so as that the frame will sit inside the fridge. I'm not going to worry about this extra depth, because when I make these frames up, I'll put this starter strip in. I'm going to put another starter strip in the bottom, staple these two bars together, and then once that's sitting in position, the bees will have a frame to start building on and a bottom that will be basically wild comb. But this is just going to be left to the bees. It's not going to be run as a conventional hive. It's more of an experiment. It's just the fact that with the insulation in this fridge, it is going to be cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So I'm hoping I'll put some vents in the bottom. If the bees don't like it, they can properly some up. I'm actually going to cover that. I'm not going to put an air vent in there. I'm going to cover that with a piece of this that I got off the door. With that amount of space, I would imagine could get 80 to 100,000 bees there easy, and they could survive easily through the winter. And just in that space, the colony will reduce, the rest of it be full up with stores, and they will survive easily on that. This is then going to be the overflow. I'm going to drill some holes in. I'm not going to bother with queen excluders, you know me. I'll let bees do what bees do. Having seen wild colonies, I doubt very much if the queens can come this far over. That would be a big enough brood nest easy. The frames change direction on this side anyway. I need to put a bar in across here just to take the frame, and the same again on these. I'll put a wax starter strip in the one side of this, so this will all be brace comb down here, and then it might take a year or two to fill up, don't know, but at least we can come back, open up the overflow side if you like, and we can pinch, maybe not all of them, we'll see, but we'll pinch these frames, cut comb, cut and strain. It'd just be really interesting to see if we leave bees to be bees and don't interfere whatsoever. My woodland's about 7 acres. It's part of around 88 acres of woodland, so they're not near anyone else's bees, so I ain't really got to worry the fact that I'm not going to be treating them with, not going to be chucking loads of chemicals over them like a lot of people do. I'm just going to let bees be bees inside an old fridge. So far. Remember, this is the brood box. Cut 2 little channels off there. Frames fit in lovely. There's just enough gap there, so in the first year, if I put a piece of small piece of tarp on here, I can just run sugar straight over the top with the door shut, just to give them a feed, just to help build them up over the winter. But I'd only need to feed them for the first year, because once they fill this up with comb, that will be one bloody big colony. I need to drill an 1.5 inch hole in there, line it with a piece of pipe. I'm most probably going to seal these edges because bees will tunnel into this poly, but let's wait and see. Maybe 1.5 inch bit of waste pipe going through into this side. The frames in this side fit the alternative way round. This will be the honey that I pinch if and when they build up enough of it. They're going to fill all the cracks in with brace comb. I'm not worried about that. I'll just be cutting it all out. Crush and strain method. I was thinking about leaving the light in it so that they could see if they had to get up overnight. As you can see, I've covered that with the a piece of plastic off of the door. I'm quite happy with that. Looking forward to getting bees in it next year and just letting bees do what bees do. Let them get on with it. So as the hinge opens this way, I'm going to put some entrances with 3/4 overflow pipe. It'd be a lot easier for the bees to defend. So rather than having a landing board, the overflow pipe's going to protrude maybe half an inch or an inch out of here. A lot easier for the bees to defend than if you have a landing board that the bees can land on and walk in. Just need to get a tin of green paint. So we've got the finished Dexter fridge freezer long hive. I've got 3 entrances, 3/4 waste pipe or 3/4 overflow pipe. The little yellow discs don't turn, they're more so that when I paint it green, I don't know if bees see or not, but if they do, they can then judge where their entrances are. Using pipes means that I can block them up with corks if need be, but it's a lot easier for bees to defend a pipe than it is if you've got a landing board there. Still needs painting, as you can see, but I thought I'd give you a quick look. Finished article. So, as I said earlier, the bees will be able to build straight down. I'll put wax starter strips in between these sections and pin them in place. They've got air vent in the bottom. It's got mesh on the opposite side as well to stop any insects coming up, because that's about 2 inches thick, polystyrene. Just cut the edge away so that the frames fit in. I can put a small piece of burlap in there just with some holes in it, and then if need be a light covering the sugar, or I could even just dump the sugar straight in the bottom. It's not going to be such a big deal. I might do that actually. Just put the sugar straight down there. We've got 2 holes drilled through. They go through into what was the freezer. Frames change orientation, go the opposite way. Bees will fill brace comb in everywhere, but I'm not worried about that. This isn't a conventional hive. I'm just going to put bees in here and let bees do what bees do. This is for me, because if they fill that side up full of comb, that's going to, I'd say 100, maybe even more, 100,000 bees in that. Plenty of stores in there. I'm not going to touch that at all. If they get really big and come through to this side, anything they make in this side will be what I pinch. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. We'll give it a test run. I'm going to get it over the woods ASAP. Magnetic doors, so the door stays shut. Insulation. This is going to be so cool inside in the summer, and yet warm as anything in the winter. It took me about 4 hours, I suppose, if that. Happy days. Another one of Dexter's mad builds.